Hello guys, and welcome to another edition of Fit and Fabulous. I'm your host, Angie Roberson, and I'm here today to discuss with you as we get prepared for the school year, mental wellness. And I have a very good colleague and friend of mine that I've known for over the past 5 to 6 years of our career together working in the mental health field, and I'm looking forward to talking to her about some very tough issues that we need to get ourselves prepared for as we go into a new school year with our children and parents, things we don't talk about. And these are things that affect our kids, especially when it comes to their anxiety, depression, and being bullied. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. We'll be back. Welcome back, guys, and welcome. I'm so excited. I have here with me a very special friend, my girlfriend and a colleague of mine. Her name is Angie. She has been working in this field for mental health for over 10 years, and she's not just a good friend, a good colleague, but she's also a good therapist, where we're going to be talking about depression, we're going to be talking about bullying, and we're going to talk about anxiety. These are one of the three major things that a lot of children and parents go through. And to get ourselves prepared for this upcoming school year, we're going to be talking about these issues, and you can learn a little bit more about her business and how she can help your child, your loved one, and even your family as well. So without further ado, we have Angie.
Hi!
Thank you, Angie, so much for being with us today. Now, we want to talk a little bit about depression and anxiety. What are some of the symptoms that parents could have some warning signs when it comes to depression and anxiety with their children starting the new school year?
Sure. So just like anything, starting the new school year, it's a new experience. A lot of the kids are going into middle school, high school, completely different environment. So things that you definitely want to look for, number one thing is refusal of school. Biggest thing. A lot of the times kids will say, oh, I have an upset stomach, and it's really not an upset stomach, they're just avoiding. So definitely refusal of school. Isolation. I always tell my parents to have date night with their children, mothers and dads, because that's your time where you can look at your children face to face, maintain eye contact, because when you're running around the house and cooking dinner and doing 85 things and you want to hear about school, you lose that focus, that one-to-one attention. So I always encourage my parents and my dads to make it a routine. Once a week, go out for coffee, go to a movie, just so then you're already building the relationship. Because I feel that when kids go into high school, parents are always, oh, well, my kid doesn't talk to me anymore, and they have to feel comfortable to do that. We can't just expect our kids to openly open up to us. But if you start having that cycle, that relationship, gradually they'll create that as a safe place. Correct. And they will eventually open up to you. So I'm a big advocate for, date nights with parents and separately as well.
That's great, and this creates a safe space for the child, and they have a relationship with the parents, because a lot of times parents, we're working, we have so many things on our plate, and a lot of times we don't really want to hear it. But we need to create a space and a relationship where our children can confide in us, and we actually have some time for them. So I like the date night. Also, let's talk a little bit about children who, sometimes get bullied and teased in school. How would a parent be able to deal with that? Because every school has a bullying policy in place, especially here in New Jersey. So how would a parent go along about dealing with that issue with the child is feeling like they're being teased or ostracized or bullied by their peers?
So due to our, social media and our telephones these days, a lot of the bullying is happening right at home on their devices, on their computers. Huge advocate for knowing your kids' passwords, looking through their social media, know who they're following, and honestly, even reading conversations with friends, I hear it a lot where with the bullying, parents are like, I just didn't know, and it's literally all happening in their room on their phone. So definitely maintaining a limit on social media getting the school involved, you know, a lot of times kids get embarrassed and they're like, no, I don't want you to say anything. But the schools do need to know when these things are occurring. And parents also need to be an advocate for their children as well. A lot of the times, parents just think, it'll just go away. But right now with social media, it's so easy for these kids to be behind the computer, behind the telephone, and just say whatever they want to say. But then when they walk into school, you know, they're nice and they're friendly. I heard that there's even like group chats where you can't even see it. So you don't even know who these people are. And they'll create lists like top 10 ugliest people in the school. And before you know, your child's on that list and she can see that. And the worst thing is that she doesn't even know, are these friends talking about her?
So it's anybody.
Right. So, you know, with social media, I definitely encourage parents to know what passwords are, know what social media is, have a conversation about social media. You know, it's a responsibility.
Correct.
And definitely always take away the phone before bedtime. There needs to be structure with the phone.
Okay. So these are preventative ways, everyone, when it comes to your children having their phone, having access to their phone, being bullied, being targeted. So their use of their phone, if you're paying, especially when you're paying that phone bill, should be somewhat under your control as the parent and not the child's control. Don't worry about being your child's friend. They'll appreciate you doing this for them when they get older and become an adult.
Right.
We want to also talk about your counseling business. So Angie has Silver Lining Counseling, which serves children, young adults, college students, and teenagers as well. Let's talk a little bit about your practice.
Okay. So I have experiencing crisis at the hospital. I've worked at 2 hospitals, Bayshore Medical Center and Mountainside Hospital. So the reason why I got this interest with adolescents, young adults, is because in the last couple of years, we've seen such an influx of children coming into crisis. And it just really kind of made me scratch my head, and I was like, I want to know more. You know, why is this happening? Because I have parents that are crying to me, telling me they're hopeless, helpless, they don't know what to do. And to be honest, I really don't even know what's going on. So I really started researching and just coming up with some great tools. And before you know it, when I opened up my practice, I had one adolescent, and it wasn't even supposed to specialize with adolescents, but I've kind of turned around, and my whole entire caseload is pretty much adolescents. And I'm even thinking about doing seminars for parents, because I'm giving so much advice and, you know, even counseling parents on how to handle teenagers with social media, with the curriculum of schools and everything. So, you know, I do also see adults. You know, I don't really specialize with adolescents. It's just kind of one parent tells another parent, and before you know it, I turn around, and I have a whole caseload of adolescents.
And that's a really tough population to deal with, and Angie has a very special, you have a gift when it comes to dealing with adolescents. Adolescents are people who are going through puberty, they're going through so many emotional phases of their life that it's very hard for adolescents to open up to someone that they really trust, and they think that they're not going to judge them. So if you have an adolescent, teenage son, daughter, or even like a college student age person, 18, 19, maybe even 20 years old, Angie is really good when it comes to that population. It's very sensitive to that population, and that population has really drawn to her as well. So at the bottom of this video, we're going to have the website to Silver Lining Counseling, so you can go to their website. She is fee for service, so she doesn't take any insurances, but she will work with families who are in need, who needs counseling for their children, and also for adults as well. And she's also going to have some parenting classes as well, and workshops as well for the parents too. So Angie, could you tell them your website address and your contact information?
So it is silverliningcounselingnj.com.
Cool beans. And I look forward to seeing you again on another Fit and Fabulous. Continue to live life well, continue to be positive, and continue to know if God is for you, who could be against you. See you next time, guys, and God bless.
Thank you.